government that spends too much, it wastes too much, taxes too much, borrows too much, and it's just way too big. We've got to rein this government in. Our irresponsible policies of overspending in Washington are creating real problems for our economy, and that's resulting in high unemployment throughout our country and also here in New Hampshire. In the last 10 quarters, despite 2 supposed stimulus bills, which have spent more than $1 trillion of tax money, the American economy has lost 8.4 million jobs. And in New Hampshire, we have 55,000 people who are unemployed. We've got to fix this. And we fix this by reining in our government. Our government is doing things that are actually destructive to job creation. When businesses can't predict what their tax rates are going to be, what their labor costs are going to be, what their energy costs are going to be, and now what their health insurance costs are going to be, they're not going to hire people. And that's what our government is doing. With excessive taxation and end-card checks, which threatens to unionize every shop in America, or cap and trade, where they want to impose a new tax to sell carbon credits, or now this monstrous healthcare legislation of 2,700 plus pages. Businesses are afraid to hire, and we've got to fix that. And finally, we have too much corruption in Washington. The level of corruption in Washington is just unconscionable, and so is the partisanship. We have to fix that. So we're running a campaign for the United States Senate to try and bring Washington back under control of people. We need public servants, and we've lost that. You know, the final line of the Declaration of Independence, which is up here on the wall, says, "We pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." And 56 representatives from around the colonies, 3 of them from here in New Hampshire, Matthew Thornton, William Whipple, and Josiah Bartlett, went down to Philadelphia with 53 others that they barely knew. And they pledged to each other their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. Can you even imagine our congressman having the audacity to say those words today? Well, we have to get back to a government that serves the people and not serves itself. We've got to get back to a government where the Congress never votes anything for itself that doesn't apply to all people, and never votes anything for the people that doesn't apply to them. We've got to have a limited government where people go and do their jobs and then come home. We're going to lead the fight for term limits in Washington, because we've got to get this government back under control. And I'm very pleased to announce that I've brought on a real key new player to help us do that, Beth Lindstrom. Beth led the campaign to lead Scott Brown to the Senate, and she brings all the capabilities and attributes which we need in a leader for our campaign. We're very, very pleased to have her, and I'd like to introduce both my wife Susan to you and also Beth Lindstrom to you. They say that every successful man has a good woman behind him, and I now have 2 good women behind me.
Thanks so much. And Jim and Sue, I am so excited to be a part of your team. I see tremendous similarities between Scott Brown and Jim Bender going forward, and that's why I've joined this campaign. Jim is a New England Republican committed to controlling government spending, cutting taxes, and letting the private sector create new jobs. Jim comes into this race as an underdog, but like Scott Brown, he has what it takes to win this election. In New Hampshire, we'll have a senator that will put people first. Jim has a history of fixing complex, broken organizations, which will come in handy in Washington. He also has tremendous understanding of finance, accounting, and economics, and has created hundreds of jobs here in New Hampshire. Finally, he knows Capitol Hill, and he won't need an orientation to get started. So with all that, I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to join this campaign, and now I'm ready to get to work. Thank you.
We really appreciate all of you being here. It's been a tough news day with all of the rain and the flooding throughout Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and we're very grateful that you took the time to visit.